Ellie versus Clementine. I don't know about y'all, but this debate has been on my For You page for like the past week.
There's no way you genuinely believe that Ellie is better in any aspect of survival than Clementine.
When y'all talking about Clementine versus Ellie and saying Clementine is better, y'all are talking about character, right?
If you put Ellie in the Walking Dead universe, Georgia is zombie free within a month.
How is Ellie a worse survivor if she survived longer in a harder world? Y'all are.
And it's been a debate in general for years. Who would win in a fight and who's the better survivalist? And I just felt like I should get my opinion on the matter. Also, keep in mind that I pretty much thought of everything and like every argument that could be made for each character. Like the amount of times that I was writing this script and had to keep adding different things because I would see new arguments. I would even think of new arguments. Like, this matchup is pretty crazy. Now in this video, I'm gonna be talking about season 4 Clem and The Last of Us Part 1 Endgame Ellie. I'm not gonna use or talk about The Last of Us Part 2 Ellie because if we're being so for real, The Last of Us Part 2 Ellie is John Wick's daughter, straight up. I mean, the shit she was doing in the trailers already proved that she is a better survivor and would win in a fight against Clem. She's just genuinely OP. She was running through 2 different armies while dealing with infected for 3 days until she had to stop. But she didn't even want to stop. She wanted to keep going. And then like a year later, ran through a different army, released the prisoners that they had. The prisoners started a rebellion against the rest of the army, basically taking out the whole army in a day. And she did all of it without being bit. Well, now she did get bit once, but that was obviously her using her immunity to her advantage. I mean, she literally put her hand right on the zombie's mouth. There's no way she would be dumb enough to do something like that unless, for example, she was immune. So I'm not going to talk about Part 2 Ellie at all. The main reason is because she's that OP, and number 2, she's 19 years old, and the oldest we've ever seen Clem is 16. So we're going to talk about Part 1 Ellie, which she's 14. Now right off the bat, I've seen people talking about how Clem is just straight up had it more rough than Ellie did, which is honestly incorrect. Physically. We'll talk about mentally having it more rough later. But physically, Ellie had it worse. Now, most of y'all probably think I mean physical pain, but that's not exactly what I mean. Because saying who's been through more physical pain is just like saying who has better durability. We'll talk about that later. But I just mean their physical trauma / physical feats. For example, I feel like most of the physical things that Clem does, we could do. Yes, me and you. Covering up in guts and walking through a herd, we could do that. Taking out walkers, we could do that. Oh no, who do you think we are? No, we can't. Yes, we can. Literal kids were getting active with these zombies. Yes, they are a bit skilled because of their experience. How do you think they got the experience? From fighting these zombies with no experience. And if you still don't believe me, look at 10. If 10 can do it, so can we. Now the main problem is the humans. I don't think me and you could survive the gunfights that Clem gets into or just her human altercations in general. But you know who can? Ellie. Ellie faces groups of armed men all the time. This shit is a joke to her. We'll talk about how Clem can't really even handle groups of armed men like that later. She also be taking out all these crazy ass variants of these zombies that me and you are not surviving. And she does it alone. Sometimes even fighting the infected and the human enemies at the same time. That already settles this debate. But I'm gonna keep going because I got so much more to talk about. I also have another point to make that kind of ties into Ellie having it more rough physically, that I'm gonna break down into 2 parts. Number 1, The Last of Us world is so much more dangerous than the Walking Dead world? The difference is so drastic that Ellie at 14 years old, surviving on her own, makes her a better survivor than Clem. Number 2, Clem has always had people. No, I know what you're thinking. Well, Ellie always had people too. So what's your point? You're right. Ellie and Clem both had people. But there's been points when they've been on their own. And like I just said, being alone in the Last of Us universe is not the same as being alone in the Walking Dead universe. It's just not the same. So not only has Ellie been alone for more times and longer than Clem, her world is also 100 times more dangerous. And I've also seen so many people say, well, Ellie is the better fighter, but she's not the better survivalist. Yeah, maybe that would be true if they were in the same universe. But when we're talking about the Last of Us universe, which is 100 times more deadly than the Walking Dead universe, being the better fighter is being the better survivalist. And we're not just saying, oh, Ellie is a good fighter. No, she's one of the best fighters in her entire world, nigga. Especially when we're talking about John Wick's daughter. I mean, if you're capable of taking on 2 shamblers sprinkled with some runners, you are undoubtedly the better survivor, period. Is Clementine surviving 2 shamblers sprinkled with some runners? Oh well, she would never put herself in that situation. See, that's the thing though. That's the thing. Ellie was in that situation and she survived it. She's the better survivor. I mean, how is it not clicking? Some people might say that the mental stuff that Clementine had to go through outweighs the physical stuff that Ellie had to go through. She was literally carrying a team full of adults and making life or death decisions. True, that is very rough. But I'd rather be a kid making life or death decisions for adults than getting my shit rocked and my face ripped open by a bloater. Look at this! If Carter wants me dead, he'll just pop me. If a bloater wants me dead, he's doing me like this. And Joel isn't dead yet. He feels this. No! Absolutely not. I ain't having it. Now, Clementine has had a group in each of the seasons, but she's also been alone a decent amount of times. But the only times where she's been alone long enough for it to mean something is number 1, when she was kicked out of the New Frontier. Number 2, when she went to go find AJ. And number 3, when she was alone with AJ for 2 years, which is the longest she's ever been alone. But I think that Ellie taking care of Joel and going up against David's army in the winter arc of the very first Last of Us is not only more impressive than Clem being alone for AJ for 2 years, but I think it's more impressive than anything Clementine has ever done. Now let me tell you why. In the Left Behind DLC, Ellie searches through a mall to find medical supplies for Joel, and in the process, she faces stalkers, clickers, runners, and groups of armed men. Now in the main game, she faces waves of clickers, runners, and even a bloater. And not just a bloater with clickers and runners running around. Now she did have David's help, but this is still extremely impressive. Then later on, she takes on waves of armed men. Just clearing them out.
She's on this.
Cover me! I'm moving up!
Until she gets caught by David and locked up. But then she escapes using high IQ plays. Faces more groups of armed men. And then kills David. Clementine is not doing any of that. Let's break it down into 3 parts. The walkers, the humans, and David, all of which Ellie faced. First, the humans. Now, Clementine is capable of stunning a grown-ass man, this nigga is big as shit, and putting him to sleep or going for the kill, just like Ellie. But this isn't really anything special considering Ellie is more experienced in doing this and just has done it a lot more. Not only that, but she was only really able to do this with one enemy in the vicinity. When Clem is faced with groups of armed men, she sets up Home Alone ass traps and wrestles with a nigga with one arm. Now the Home Alone traps did work, but what about the next wave of enemies and the next and the next? You see, Ellie be facing her human enemies and zombie enemies, but in this case, she be facing her human enemies like COD zombie waves, clearing one wave of enemies after the next, moving from one area, clearing that bitch out, airing that bitch out, and then moving to the next. If we give Clem a gun, she could probably take a wave or 2. But what is Clementine gonna do on that 5th wave of enemies with armed guns? I'ma tell you what she gonna do. Die. She just don't got the endurance. She was tired after wrestling a nigga with one arm. And back to the nigga with one arm, cause this shit really don't make no sense. Clementine had a knife, but this dude rocks the shit out of her and pins her on the table. Now the knife is no longer in her hand in this shot, which means it just fell on the floor. So she grabs this object and pokes bro in the eye. Now you think the immediate thing to do after this would be to pick up the knife that she dropped on the floor and stab this nigga in the neck. But instead, AJ trying to get some licks in. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead then, right? AJ getting his licks in. And now bro is really stunned. So you think the immediate thing to do would be to pick up the knife and rush at this nigga and stab him in the neck. But instead, Clementine decides to bum rush this nigga with no weapons out to the balcony, wrestles the nigga, and then falls off of the balcony. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, we definitely giving battle IQ to Ellie, because she would just never do some shit like this. Do you know how 14-year-old Ellie would have handled a nigga with one arm? Do you know how Ellie would have handled this group right here? Clementine just hasn't done any of that, bro. I mean, let's dive into this situation even more. Lily brought at least 6 soldiers with her to the school, and Clementine had 2 weeks to prepare with other people with her. And it ended with 3 kids getting kidnapped and 1 kid dying. And they only killed 1 of Lily's soldiers, and another one was left on the battlefield that they killed later. But he didn't even die on the battlefield, bruh. Now granted, This definitely has to do with the rest of the children not being that skillful, and Clementine's artillery just being a bow. But even so, 6 soldiers pulling up on Ellie is a regular Tuesday. Giving Clementine a pistol in this area probably wouldn't have changed anything. The result still would have been the same. Maybe they would have killed more soldiers. Listen, and none of this is any disrespect to Clem. I love Clem. I love the Walking Dead universe. It's genuinely one of the only video games that has actually brought tears to my fucking eyes, bruh. This shit is so fucking well written. Now that's just the humans. Next up, we gotta talk about the zombies. And Clementine is not handling these zombies, man. She's just not used to it. The walkers in the Walking Dead series are slow as fuck. That kick and stab shit ain't finna be working on these niggas that be coming at you like this. These zombies dead ass be coming at you throwing hands. This zombie pulled Ellie by the hair from underneath the truck, threw her on the ground, and tried to go in for a munch. These niggas is cracked out. Clementine is not surviving these enemies. I'm sorry. Clementine is not surviving this enemy in a group, or this enemy in waves, nigga. It's just not happening. Last up, David. And Clem is not surviving this nigga either. Ellie used her listen mode, which is just her having really good senses and awarenesses and just being good at hearing all that shit. Something that Clementine does not have. To spot where David is at all times. Now you might be able to argue, and I personally could probably agree, that Clementine would be able to spot David and come up behind him because, I mean, the nigga is just standing up and talking. But when bro trades his gun for a machete and gets on all fours and starts hunting you on some Wolverine shit, yeah, it's raps for Clementine. You can't even see where bro is with the listen mode anymore. It's over. I mean, let's really analyze this. So she's at a disadvantage because she doesn't have listen mode. If David finds her, she's dead. If she locks eyes with David, she has to run away and hide again. If she tries to encounter him, she's dead. She would just genuinely have to get lucky and find David before she can find her. But she would be doing this shit completely blind because she don't know where this nigga is at. So that shit is just incredibly unlikely. She could also try to step on glass to lure him to an area, but knowing Clem and her battle IQ, yeah, she's not doing that. I mean, if we run this fight 100 times, she's bound to win some. But overall, Clem is most certainly losing to David 9 out of 10 times. Or, no. 99 times out of 100. So boom, Clementine is not surviving the 3 main things that 14-year-old Clem had to go through. And some people might use the excuse, well, Ellie had better artillery than Clem. Yes, another thing that makes her a better survivor. The amount of guns that Ellie has and her ability to craft knives, bombs, Molotovs, med kits just from her backpack. Come on, my nigga. Clementine not doing that. Another argument people, or actually, I haven't seen this argument, but me personally, I've thought of it. The Telltale Games gameplay looks a lot worse than it actually is, and I do agree with that. Realistically, this should look a lot more fluid, a lot more quicker, but regardless, this is still how the fight went down. You know, I've also seen people talk about in the comics, I'm pretty sure the Walking Dead comics, Negan got a scar and it was from Clementine. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is canon, but I'm pretty sure it is.
There's a scene in the Walking Dead comics where Negan is shirtless for the first time, and he has a real wicked scar on his side. I was pushing for the Telltale people to have Negan appear in, I think it was season 2, might have been season 3. My recollection is hazy. But I was pushing for them to have Negan appear in the game and have him interact with Clementine at a much earlier time than we meet him in the comics. And at some point she gave him that scar. And so I was wanting to kind of connect Negan and Clementine in like an interesting way like that. I don't think we could make it work with the timeline or something. I don't think I ever came up with a reason for why Negan has that scar. So who knows? Maybe maybe it's.
But I'm not gonna lie, there's not enough content for this feat to really mean anything. Because if we just go with Clementine gave him the scar because she was a better fighter in the altercation, that would just be way too inconsistent. Wrestling a one-armed man and getting tired, getting overwhelmed by James twice, getting overwhelmed by Minerva twice. The first time she was dead about to get stabbed in the face, and the second time got her leg sliced open. And if we could pause on this moment real quick, if Minerva would have just gotten right on top of Clementine after she fell, Clementine would have most certainly died. But she decided to take her sweet time swinging her axe. And it's so crazy too, because she just got done doing one of the most smartest battle IQ things I've seen in this entire universe by spitting in Clem's face. But then she follows that up with the most dumbest attack I've seen in this universe. Boy, I tell you, every single character in this universe is dumb in some type of capacity. Moving on though, she also gets overwhelmed by Lily so bad that she can barely stand up. And lastly, Clem just not having the battle IQ to do some shit like this. I mean, there's so many instances of Clementine having bad battle IQ, but in this example, Clementine has a knife in her back pocket right now. And instead of tackling Lily and then instantly stabbing her in the neck, she decides to tackle Lily unarmed. Okay, this is fine though. She can pull out the knife and get to gutting, get to stabbing, whatever she needs to do. But no, she decides to get up and go grab the gun that's pretty damn far from her. And she ends up getting her shit pulled the fuck back. What the fuck? Yeah, you could just never catch Ellie slipping like that, bruh. Her knife is basically her hand. She's always using that shit. So yes, this feat is interesting, but it don't really mean shit. I also want to make it clear that I don't care about Clem's bad IQ plays or any inconsistencies, because at the end of the day, this is a video game, and these moments would arguably be worse if Clem just got it done really quickly and was being smart about it. But unfortunately, when it comes to a dev battle, I do got to take these things into account. I also just learned that it's a debate whether if season 3 Clem is stronger than season 4 Clem, which honestly doesn't make any sense at all. Clementine is at the age where the older she gets, the stronger she should get, because she's just so damn young. Either way, season 3 Clementine doesn't do a single thing that gives her an edge over Clementine. I actually found 2 things that proves that she can't handle Ellie. In this scene, Clementine tries to fire her gun, but the bullets don't work, so she had to get saved by Hobby. Now remember that these walkers are slow as fuck. And Clementine was so slow that she couldn't even pull out her knife or move out the way. Yes, I understand she was caught off guard by the gun not working, but that is no excuse when the walkers are moving this slow. Just imagine a runner running at Clem when she's being this slow. Yeah bro, she's gone. Fast forward all the way to the end of the game, Clem gets overwhelmed in a gunfight and has to get saved by Hobby, which proves my point that Clem would not be able to take on waves and waves and waves of armed men like Ellie can. The only thing I'd say that season 3 Clem had over season 4 is artillery. She had a shotgun and a pistol. But I mean, shit, give Clementine her shotgun, pistol, and Minerva's axe. That shit still don't change nothing. She still getting done like this. So in conclusion, Ellie is faster than Clementine in travel speed, reaction speed, combat speed, blitz speed, all that. Ellie is stronger than, oh, hold on. Part 2 Ellie is stronger than Clementine. I do believe that Clementine in season 4 has more strength and power than 14-year-old Clementine. I mean, she was really putting niggas to sleep. Put this teenage girl to sleep with her left hand, bruh. Ellie is more durable than Clementine. Ellie has more stamina and endurance than Clementine. Ellie has better and more skill and training than Clementine. Ellie is smarter than Clementine. Raw IQ and in a tactical sense. Battle IQ shit. And yes, one of the reasons why Ellie is smarter than Clementine is because Ellie grew up in a school. And it's crazy how I be seeing y'all trying to put Ellie down for that. Talking about some, oh, Ellie grew up in a school, bruh. She really had it easy. My nigga, oh my goodness, bro. We must be looking like this. Number 1, Ellie is smarter than Clementine because she went to a school. So y'all making fun of her because she went to a school just seems like a coping mechanism. Number 2, mentally, she had it worse than Clementine.
Say that again.
Mentally, she had it worse than Clementine.
This nigga's a homosexual. Say that again. Yes, I've never watched gay porn. Rewind that and say what you just said one more time.
Mentally, she had it worse than Clementine.
This nigga's a homosexual.
Pause the video right there. I am so sorry for letting this blasphemy come out of my mouth. You see, when I said this, it had been a minute since I've seen the Walking Dead game, right? So I kind of forgot most of the stuff Clem had to go through, but I just recently saw season 1, and yeah, without a doubt in my mind, Clementine mentally had it a lot worse than Ellie. Now, Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2, it gets pretty close when it comes down to who had it worse mentally. Ellie was going through it, but I think ultimately Clem just had it worse mentally, bro. Like, she was going through it, nigga. So the point I'm trying to prove here is that Ellie had it rough in the very first game. Like, it's really crazy that some of y'all say Ellie had it easy. What are you talking about? She was old enough to understand both her and her friend got bit and were going to die. But she didn't die. It was only her friend, which created this weird complexity in her mind of, why did she go and not me? When is it my turn? And this shit lasted all the way to the end of the game. She was old enough to grasp the concept of this world and this reality. She had to learn about how the world was and how it was once normal and what it has become. And then she went on to face the worst of the worst and some of the most evil and filthiest things that this world has to offer. I mean, her only slight mother figure gave her to some goddamn smugglers, man. Let's be so for real. But to continue, Ellie has better senses and awareness, sight, hearing, danger sense, and all that shit. Ellie has better movement and mobility than Clementine. Ellie has better gear, weapons, and tech than Clementine. I mean, for goodness sake, Ellie has a superpower. She is immune to the infection. Oh, but wait a minute. That doesn't add to her survivability. If anything, it makes it easier. Oh, that's okay, because majority of the niggas she be fighting are humans, bro. And that's just in the first game. In the second game, 70% of the people you fight are humans. 30% are zombies. Come on. But to continue, Ellie has better feet than Clementine. I mean, Ellie has better feats, like she's done more impressive things than Clementine. Ellie is better at adapting to her environment than Clementine. Ellie has a better mentality than Clementine. And ooh, I know some of y'all are like, oh hell nah, you went too far. Cause look at Clementine right here, staring death down in the face. Ooh, she got that dog in her. Let's look at Clementine when she's face to face with a dog.
Stay back.
Now let's look at Ellie when she's face to face with a dog. Let's look at Ellie when she's faced with the decision to spare a life or not.
Take it easy. Just take it easy. Please. Oh God, don't. All right. Just take it easy. Just take it easy. Please. You don't have to do this. Don't do this.
Let's look at Ellie off somebody. This shit goes on for like 20 seconds. Just kill him already. Hey, well, you say you weren't gonna use part 2 Ellie at all. And you know what? You right. That's my fault. Let's look at part 1 Ellie.
Stop!
So in conclusion, this shit should no longer be a debate. Ellie would beat Clementine in any type of fight, and Ellie is the better survivor. I love Clementine to death, but she loses to Ellie low to mid diff. I'm gone.
So, Clem, anyone here you like?
Seriously? Like? What are you, 6?
7, thank you.